Hello, my crafty friends. Hopefully, you guys are doing awesome this Thursday night. Well, I mean, hopefully, you guys are doing good. So, I wanted to do a share in a tutorial, kind of, sort of. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can, but I did want to share something with you guys. So, you know how us crafters, we always look at something and we're like, oh, I can make that. Yeah, that happened to me. So I was emptying a box and I looked at it and I'm like, I could recreate this box and I can make something out of this box. But anyway, so I use these at night. Yep, there was a box I tore it apart, but um, I use this at night. I do get dry mouth. So yeah, so I looked at the box and I'm like, you know what? I can recreate that box myself. So anyway, so I looked at the box, da, da, da. And then I came into my craft room and I started measuring, you know, the length, the width, all of that, and see where the score lines were. And I said, I'm going to do that. So I found out what the measurements are. So they're 10 long, 6 3/4 wide. On the 10-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 3 5/8, 5 1/4, and 8 3/8. And in the 6 3/4 side, you're going to score at 1 1/2 and then 5 1/8. So I actually cut the paper. But before I show you how to construct it, let me show you what I made. So this is the first one I made. As you can see, this one is closed, like there's nothing on it, right? Since we're in Valentine's and stuff like that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can cut a heart shape on it. And so I did, and I did, um give me a second, I did use, this is the die that I was using to cut the heart. And so yeah, and so I recreated the box. Now the way that the way that is constructed anyways, I did make a few changes when it comes to the lid itself, how I want it to close. So I did cut a little bit different on one of the flaps, and I also made a slit on there so you can actually put this inside and it's not like glued completely, you know, and so you can just put that in there. And the only reason why I was thinking about that is um, because if you want to use it like for Happy Mail and you want to put some little goodies inside, you don't want the recipient to be, you know, like ripping the box or whatever. It'll be easier if they just, you know, pull the little flap and, you know, get to their goodies a little bit faster. That's just my kind of brain, the way it was working. So this is the measurement that is for the box, is exactly this one. And then when I cut this paper, I was left over just a smaller piece. So then I recreated this one. But if you notice, this is a little smaller than this one, and I did use a smaller heart on this one. Construction is a little bit different in the sense that instead of closing on the top, it actually closes on the side, but it's the same concept of the closure. And you know, we do that, you can do either way. Then I constructed it without making the window, right? Or, you know, without using the acetate on it or nothing, because that's what I used. I used the acetate to, you know, have that see-through window so you can see the goodies inside. But if you don't want to have the goodies shown or anything, I did reconstruct it without putting the heart or anything. I didn't do the closure. It's kind of the same, like I sealed it on the bottom, but you can do same concept here, or but I wanted to leave the flap so I can explain it to you guys as well. That you can use Velcro, or I don't know, like a belly band, you know, on it just to seal it. um I mean, we're crafters, we're creators, right? We can get creative and seal it however, or you know, put the little, I've seen like the little closure with either twine or something like that. So like I said, you know, you can get creative on how to close it up. But so I wanted to give you the versions that I created, and I cut this one ahead of time. I did score it a little time ahead of time, excuse me, but I wanted to do the cuts with you guys so you guys can have an idea on how it is. So this is how it's gonna look in the front. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you where it needs to be cut on the score lines here, okay? So it'll make a little bit more sense to you guys. Let me see if I can lift it up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're gonna take off this small square here and this small square on this side. And this is on that 1/2 inch score line that we made. So we're gonna cut here, and we are going to cut right there. Then you're gonna make a little sliver on the side just so it can give it a little bit of an angle. And then you're gonna do the same thing here. You're gonna take off that small square, take it off. Of course, I didn't do it all the way. Okay, here you go. And then you're gonna cut right there. Okay. And so it's gonna give it that kind of shape on the side here. Okay. Now, if you guys look at the box again, so that flap that we made is this little flap right here. Okay. Now, if you look at it, right, now we need to cut these flaps right here, right? Okay, so those are going to be that square here, that square down here, this square, and that square. So we are going to get to the score line. This one is really hard for me to see the score line, but I hope I'm in frame so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you're going to cut to that score line, and then you're going to cut a little sliver on the side to kind of give it that shape. I don't know what that shape is, but anyways, that's the shape that you're going to give it. So you're going to do the same thing on this side. Going to cut, and then you're going to cut that little sliver off. Did it cut? It did. All right, now we go to the other side and do exactly the same thing. It is so hard for me to see that score line. I'm not kidding, guys. And I'm wearing glasses. That's the sad part. All right, so we got that. And then we cut here. And we make that little slit. Now we have to do the same thing, but in these two squares over here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do it on this side. I'm going to cut to that line, and then we are going to cut that little sliver off. Now obviously you don't want this to stay square, right? So we're going to cut that little sliver on that side as well so it doesn't look awkward. Then we're going to cut this one here, do the same thing, and then cut that little sliver off. And on this side as well. Okay, so it has the little flappy thing. So now I'm trying to move all this out of the way, and of course it's going to stuck. All right, so now we just want to smooth out all the score lines, right? So we're going to smooth that, smooth this, smooth that. And then this one on the bottom here. And then the ones on the side as well. Now I'm using my finger, but you guys can use a bone folder if you want. But this paper is kind of thin, so it's pretty thin actually. This is the one I got from, I think it was Hobby Lobby. I bought this paper at. And then smooth that down, and now is the part that we need to glue, right? So now we're gonna glue the first part. So I'm gonna get my Art Glitter Glue, which I absolutely love this glue. It is so, I mean, it glues really good. It dries clear. It is a little pricey, but you know what? The money is worth it, guys. All right, so we're gonna put the glue on the little flap. Now, what I did, I just put this like straight, and then I bent it, and then get it to the edge and try to align this to the best of my ability, because now I can't see anything. And then kind of smooth it down so the glue can grab. So we're gonna do that, and voila, you got your box. Now to glue this part, you can put some glue on the flaps here. You bring this one flap down, and then you put some glue here, or you could put it on the other flap, however you choose. And then you bring this one down. Now what I did was I just opened this here and just stuck my hand inside and pushed them in. Or like I said, you could use your bone folder, and the bone folder can actually help you to smooth it out inside. And voila, you got your box. And like I said, you know, on this side you can do, you know, Velcro it, or you can miter it like I did on this one. See how the flap, it's cut an angle here, and then I made that little slit so it can go inside. You can do that as well. Or you could just seal it, or put a belly band. If you're not gonna put this, you know, the little window, you can create a belly band for it. But yeah, so that's my box, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial and show you and do a product share on what I did and how I came up with it. Because like I said, you know, us crafters, when we're out and about, or even, you know, like I said, you know, this is something that I use, you know, and I literally took it apart and I did my measurements and stuff like that. I think, you know, once your crafter, you know, juices start flowing, you can, I guess, make anything on anything, right? So thank you guys again, like always, you know, thank you for your love and support as always, hanging out with me. Oh my god, I almost forgot something. Guess what my son made for me, guys? Wait till you see it. So his wife and my son made this for me. Yep, it's got the name of my channel, which is Shorty Custom Creations. They made the S exactly how my logo is, and they put handmade crafts in the bottom. Guys, this is thread and nails. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? A lot of work, but they made that for mommy. This was my Christmas gift, by the way. But absolutely beautiful. But I wanted to share it with you guys so you guys can see how creative my children are. Anyways, guys, thank you again for hanging out with me. Love you guys so, so much. And let me know in the comments if you like my, not so much my idea, because I basically broke one box, but hey, I did create this. So let me know if you guys like the idea, if you guys are gonna try it, if you guys are gonna you know, try to make it yourself. I would love to hear. Have a wonderful night, guys. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and thank you again for all your support. Have a blessed night. Bye.